Testimony. Avi has asked me to recall and recount a period that takes me back approximately 20 years, more or less. Truth be said, going back to that time is a very difficult thing to do because I don't want to remember this. It's too difficult. It's too emotional. The misery, the grief, the suffering, how this could have happened, why it happened, and everything that came about through it. I will tell you that during this period, things were so bad that it rocked every part of my life. Our marriage, we were not on the same page, to put it mildly, regarding how we should deal with it. The gloom. If I had to describe the dominant emotion, I think the most accurate would be despair. There was so much despair. How did this happen? How did such a special, wonderful boy who was known as a tzaddik as a kid turn, pardon the word, into such a monster? How did he become a boy who didn't care what he was doing to his parents? I was overtaken by disbelief that my son could behave like this, that he could go so ballistic. And we had to literally push and pull ourselves through each day. I would say that it was almost like our life wasn't worth living. He was out at all hours of the night while we were up waiting and worried. Where is he? Is he safe? He's 17, he's 18, he's 19. Is he safe? Is he coming home tonight? If he's coming home tonight, in what condition is he going to walk through the door? Is he going to be high? Is he going to be sober? Who knows? I was so angry with him. How dare you? I raised you. I was kind to you. I gave to you. I was convinced that a good spanking, a really solid spanking, one of a kind, would cure him for life. The problem was that he was now 17, 18, 19, 20. He was bigger than I was. He even lifted weights. He was a very strong kid. So it wasn't even something that could be considered. I remember the arguments that my wife and I had. It was 3 a.m., 4 a.m. I went to sleep. My wife waited up. She wasn't going to bed. She wanted to know that her boy was coming home in one piece. I told my wife, I demanded that when he walks through that door, she was to reprimand him. She has to tell him, look what you're doing to us. We can't sleep at night. We're worried sick. I didn't want to be there when he finally came home because I was too angry and I was afraid of the interaction that would transpire. So finally, he would come home in the middle of the night and my wife would say to him, did you have supper yet? And at 4 a.m., out came the frying pan and she made fresh chicken cutlets for him. This didn't happen once. It didn't happen twice. It happened dozens and dozens of times. To me, this was absolutely meshuggah. But my wife said, he's my son. He's hungry. I can make him schnitzel. He's still my boy, no matter what. My wife had a job first thing in the morning as a teacher, and she had to be in school by 8 a.m. She would be exhausted, but that's the way she treated him. My wife loved him, but I admit that I really, really hated him. The friction and the tension affected the whole dynamics of our home. The breaking point came after an argument when he took his tefillin and he was going to throw them out of the 4th floor window. And that was it for me. It was too much. I went ballistic. I told my wife that I want him thrown out of the home. I don't want to see him ever again. My wife suggested that we ask a Rav before doing anything so drastic. I thought about who we could go to and decided that there is only one Rav whom I would agree to trust with such a huge decision. His name was HaRav Yosef Rosenblum, who lived from 1928 to 2017, the Rosh Hashiva of Sharei Yosher. He was a Talmud of HaRav Aaron Kotler, Zeichat Tzadik Livracha, and a mentor of the Rosh Hashivas of Lakewood. He was very kind and he gave us his first available appointment, which was at 1 a.m. We tearfully told him about the painful nightmare that we were experiencing. He listened very intently until we had nothing more to say. And then he was quiet. It was so quiet.